Good boy. Wait. Good boy. Wait. Uh-uh. Okay, come. Good boy. All right. So we are on our practice session here today. I've got his head halter on as well as the anti-bark collar in hopes that during our walk here we can catch some other pups that are out and about on Christmas here walking around and get some practice redirecting. Since I think a lot of people will be home today, we'll probably stick around the neighborhoods, and then tomorrow and the rest of the week we'll start integrating more social work. Yes, good boy. Very good. Getting him used to as light of leash pressure as possible. And it really helps too to have the head halter, because as soon as he starts to pull in any way, it makes him uncomfortable. And we want to both try to avoid that as much as possible. So if I need to change direction or anything, I'll just call his name and let him know which way I'm going, as opposed to just pulling constantly on the collar or on the leash. Good boy. Hi, you want to follow me? Oh, no. Have to smell what's going on. Good boy. With me? Come, heel. Leash is tangled up. There you go. Come, heel. Good boy. Up here. Good. Good boy. Good job. Okay, free. And to change things up for him as well, outside of kind of the more formal walking work, we have practices that we'll show during the week too, of him following with me just through play, and then we'll round it out with some longer range recall. Here, bud, let me fix that for you. There you go. So, good boy. Hey. Good boy. So when we're working with this kind of stuff, we want to make sure that it fits properly. You know, it's not tight unless it actually needs to be. See how nice and loose it is? You got your eye boogers here. All right, there you go. And get your camera ready. Oh, okay, there you go. Boy, but see how it's nice and loose? It's not tight or tugging on him. And there should only be pressure on it when he starts to pull. I also have it connected to his collar down there as well, so that way even when he's pulling, it's not just the full force on his face, but we're actually splitting it between his face and his collar down there. And I'll show you guys the settings that I have on his collar here while we're just kind of walking around looking for some pups. Good boy. Put the treat bag away. Oh. Good boy, good pee-pee. All right, let's see. I'm gonna try to just do a screen recording. And then I'll just overlay that on the video here. But we'll have my dog, and right now we have the auto bark feature. We can pause it in case we see a friend or he gets excited and we don't want it to correct him when he's barking, or we can stop it altogether in case he's at the dog park or something. That way you won't have to just take it off. You can also just pause or stop the functions of the collar. The trigger loudness, I have it just to the least sensitive. That way it doesn't accidentally trigger, especially since he's in an environment now with multiple pups. We don't want it to accidentally trigger when one of the other dogs is barking. And then training mode we have to set to progressive. So what that means is the first time it will just sound an alert to remind him not to bark. And that'll also help give us an extra opportunity to redirect his focus and reward him for doing the right thing, which is to refocus on us instead of whatever it is that he is fixated on and barking at. All right, and then the second set of barking will do the sound alert and then also add a vibration to give him a physical warning. And then the third set will add the sound, a stronger vibrational alert, as well as a low level of static, just so that way he can, and this goes all the way up, but that way he can actually have some sort of repercussion for ignoring us, and or sometimes they just need something stronger physical to help with redirecting their focus. All right, and so that's what we have settings wise right now for the collar. I have everything pretty low and pretty lenient. He said the main thing is to practice him seeing another pup or person, and whether it may be apprehension or uncertainty or excitement, getting him to refocus on us and remain calm and composed for a reward, and then we control the engagement with him and the other dog or the person, as opposed to just immediately correcting his behavior. Because it's not aggressive or anything, we want to try to give him as many opportunities to get used to situations since he is still pretty young, and try to build a positive association with him seeing other pups and other people and reacting appropriately and being rewarded for it. Chip. So you can kind of see there, he was getting into something, couldn't tell what it was. So tried his name, and then when he ignored that, went ahead and used the leash pressure to pull him away. It's important that we don't give him too many chances sometimes too. We want to give him an opportunity to listen and do the right thing, but then we don't want him to hurt himself or ignore us and hurt us or another pup. So you give him the verbal command, and especially if he's already really interested in something and mid-eating it, most of the time at that point you're going to have to physically remove him. But we'll be practicing leave it on another session as well to help with developing those skills of him actually dropping attention and fixation from something and refocusing back onto us. Sometimes when there's a lull in the action like this, while we're out walking, we can either have him do some heel drills or some name recognition practice while we're out looking for pups and making sure he doesn't pull. Good boy. Yes. You can see there he started to get a little bit too far ahead. Good boy. Recognize the leash pressure and look back. Chip, wait. Chip, wait. He's getting too distracted with the environment. Good boy, good wait. Wait. There we go. Good boy. Okay, come on. There we go. Lots of smells and everything on the ground. Because we're in the middle of the street, I want to go ahead and stop here. So I'm just going to apply some directional leash pressure by continuing to walk. And that's going to do a couple things for us. It's going to give him some guidance because it'll show him that we're walking further away. And it'll also increase the force on the leash in a nice, smooth, linear fashion. Before, especially on like things like a prong collar, you'll want sudden impact. Whereas with a head halter, you definitely don't want any jerky or sudden movements. You want everything to kind of be smooth. And if he starts to kind of pull ahead, you can see here, it'll bother him. Good boy. And then he should come back and check in on us. Ready? Come here. Come. Then back this way. And if I want him to kind of just get his nose off the ground, I'm just going to keep walking. And he's got to catch up, right? Doesn't have that option anymore. This way, Chip. Yes. Wait. 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 There you go. Good. So you can see you really have to take the time to take his mind off of whatever it is he's interested in, whether it's going out the door, whether it is just sense on the ground. But once you're able to do that and get his attention, then he's able to work out those commands. But it's important that we don't let him just say ignore it. So that's why most of the walk is going to be pretty casual. We'll be letting him smell as much as he needs. And we just want to keep the leash nice and loose. But just for illustrative purposes and just for practice too, we'll be initiating some leash pressure and some commands. It's just important to note that when you do give a command like sit or wait, you want to make sure that you see it through and completely execute it. So for example, if I asked him to wait and he just kept on going and following his nose, he learns to ignore that command and not focus and not have any repercussions. Didn't have to correct him, but I had to make sure that at least he wasn't able to ignore it and he wasn't able to continue on smelling or doing anything else until he did what we requested. Later on, as the training develops and we need snappier timings, we can always add in those corrections, but for now it's more of just getting in the repetitions and rewarding for good behaviors. So here, because I just want to get going and keep walking forward, I'm just going to keep walking forward. And that linear pressure is going to be something that he can't ignore, even though he wants to smell and follow his nose. What we need to teach him is that he can use his nose so long as he's still around our area and so long as there's no pressure on the leash. If there's pressure on the leash, that means that he has to kind of refocus and catch up. Good boy, right? Or if he overshoots, stop because there's a boundary and refocus. Yeah. Here, I'll go ahead and stop. And then as he moves forward, I move forward. If I wanted to turn around, I would just turn around. So the walk is a little bit more equal, but now that you have the power of leverage, you kind of have now more responsibility to him too, to try to make sure that the walk is not only safe but enjoyable. Because we don't want him to kind of get into everything that's on the ground. At the same time, we want him to be able to explore. He's going to naturally still move faster than us for most of his life, so he has to do extra work in either focusing on us to stay with us, and we can help him with that with those prompts of like healing and everything else. but it won't be for quite a while into his older age that he will naturally slow down to our walking speed. So this actually helps with a more smooth walk between the two of us because he stops more often to smell things. So long as it's things that are around us, then that's okay. And so long as he's not getting into anything that he shouldn't, then that's also okay. When he's distracted by things is also another good opportunity to practice things like his name recall. And we'll be implementing the collar for off-leash behaviors too. So that way he gets practice responding to beeps and vibrates, not only off of his anti-bark collar, but in general. And that way the two will kind of go hand in hand. So not only will it help to disrupt his train of thought when he starts barking, but if we associate that beep and that vibrate with him recalling back to us, right, for a treat, then we'll actually add even more value to it too. Good boy. So all I'm gonna do here is just kind of have him wait and let the leash do all of the work of the boundary. And once he's done exploring the area and he refocuses on his own, then he'll get a reward and then we'll cross. But he's not allowed to pull me, right? As soon as he does, I stand firm. And what ends up happening is when I stand firm, he can't go anywhere else. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for him to kind of give up. There's a little bit of crying there if you can't hear because he's a good boy. And then look to me for advice on what to do. Good boy, let's go. Right? If I'm always having to give him commands, then he's not thinking about what he should be doing there because we cut off all the options of what he could do. The last thing that was left presented to him was to focus on us and kind of ask us what we wanted, and which is perfect. The more that we can get him to do that and focus on us on his own and kind of look to us for guidance, the easier our lives will be in general, not just on walks. Good boy. Gotta just be careful here of things in the tall grass that we can't see. Just getting distracted by that person over there. We'll see if he starts barking or anything at them. Get a treat ready in case I need to recall him with his name or anything. But he just seems interested right now, so I'm just gonna let him be. There you go, and then he disengages on his own, so that's good. Oh, there is a dog, perfect. You see the pup, big guy. Hi, how you doing? There you go, so he's barking, good boy. Yep, there you go, good. Come, good. So there we got to see an opportunity of how it can help with breaking his fixation and getting him to then refocus on us with a little bit of guidance, you know, just calling his name, pulling his lead back to us. Hey, how you doing? Good boy. So he went to the second stage there. You can see the first bark, it just beeped, kind of distracted him for a second. The second time he barked, it vibrated, and it made it easier after he got distracted by that to get his attention and maintain his focus. It also helped that the pup went away too to make things easier for him, but he didn't need to go all the way up to the third bark and the static to do the right thing, which is perfect. Okay, especially in the beginning we want to make it easier for him to succeed, so that way he can actually understand what to do and what not to do. So if there's a situation where there's a lot of dogs barking at him and things like that, it may be harder for him to control himself in general, and the collar and everything would be more of just correcting him when he's not able to control himself because of the situation. So that was a really good example there. I'll go ahead and pause the video here so I can find that time a little bit easier, and we'll put it in the description. Okay, and so now leave it. Now he's licking something on the sidewalk there, so I'm asking him to leave it, and I'm just applying constant pressure. Okay, I'm not going to give up. He has to give up. I'm not going to increase the pressure because I want him to respond off of just those things alone. Good boy. Then when he kind of gives up there, I'm going to start walking to get him away from whatever he was interested in. Okay. Now, when we go back to it, and we'll elaborate more on these things during the leave it exercise itself. Got to keep him out of this grass because there's a sign in the yard. But this will actually present a really good learning opportunity. Okay, if you find something that he's interested in and he doesn't respond well right away, what we're going to do is work with him on it. Okay. So there's just something on the sidewalk there that he really wanted to get into. Good boy. So I'm going to get his attention first. I've already lost his attention because he's excited to go back to it. Chip, come with me. Get out of the grass. This is going to be difficult because of that sign there too. Let's try to keep him on. We want to keep him further away from the item at first, but because it's directly opposite to it. Chip, leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Good boy. Good, leave it. Come. Come. There we go. Good. Right, so we present him the opportunity. We give him the command to leave something alone, and he tries to ignore it. We give him that slight correction with a little gentle pressure on the lead, just mostly making it a boundary. He tries again, understands that he can't get to it, he gives up, he refocuses onto us, and then we add in that recall. With leave it, it's really important to not only get their attention off of whatever it is that they're interested in, but then move them away from that item. And that will help greatly in that kind of ping pong effect that you kind of see there. Because if he leaves it only temporarily, that temptation is still there. And the closer he is to that temptation, the harder it is for him. And so if we add in that recall at the end, we're basically removing that temptation and making it easier for him to actually completely leave it and continue following us. And like I said, we'll go over that more in detail on a video all on its own, doing a few leave it exercises and our practices for it. But in the basics, leave it will be taking his attention and fixation off whatever it currently is on, refocusing back onto us, and adding in recall. It can help build discipline when you're practicing to have whatever it is that he's interested in close to him, right? So really work on that self-control. But when you're out in public, there might be other people on the sidewalk. It might be something that you don't really want to risk him losing self-control and getting into, whether it be like a candy bar on the road or some chicken wings somebody left out at the shopping center or threw away in the grass. So it's usually best to practice with things that you know, even if he did fail, that it's not going to cause a huge vet bill. And then as he gets better, then it's a little bit safer to risk it on even higher value items because he's going to have more practice in responding immediately to those requests just through practice. Good boy. But his overall walking behaviors are really good now. Definitely needs some help when he overshoots, but nothing too extreme. Most of the time the leash is nice and loose on the walk and he's slowing down. And he said if I wasn't talking to the camera and having him refocus on to me all the time and doing heel work, he's really good at that too. So there, because I had gone forward and he he wanted to go back to smell something, he hit the boundary. And because I'm not going to move the boundary, he needs to respect it, just like he is now. Good boy. Good boy. Good weight. There you go. And then if he breaks the weight early, there you go. He gets corrected, and I'm going to move towards here. Wait. Good boy. It's always good to get real world practice in because not only do you actually have a reason for him to wait at cross stops, but it gives a more realistic sense of for how long, right, that he needs to develop that wait for. Good boy. I'm going to check to make sure it's clear. Come here. Chip. Sit. You can see you got distracted. It's okay. We'll recover. All right, let's go. Much like a puppy, he always wants something to kind of do and get into. So especially back at home, getting good practice with him, dropping it and, and leaving it in general with just random things. Is good when you're supervising him, but then when he has to be left unsupervised, what I do is make sure that he doesn't have access to anything inappropriate. And also he has access to toys and things that he can chew on. Good boy, good pee-pee. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over the crest here of this hill, see if we can spot any more pups coming in. And if not, we'll double back to the other side. We'll give him a little bit of a break and we'll work with his boarding mate for a bit. And then we'll come back out later on, see if we can add anything else to this video. He does like to kind of randomly lick things on the ground. So we want to try to avoid that as much as possible so he doesn't get sick. So here is a good easy way to practice because he can't see the other dog, right? Getting used to hearing them barking and then even having him refocus back onto you and sitting is a good way to practice. It's even easier because he doesn't see the pup. But it's still good routine practice. So once again, because I just want to keep going up the hill here, I'm going to keep walking. Pressure on the leash is going to increase naturally. He's going to have to follow. I don't have to stop. I don't have to request him to follow. I don't have to call his name. You know, we want to try to make it so it's as easy as possible for the handlers to actually handle and walk their dog and not have to constantly micromanage things, right? Looks like there is a pup up there, which is good. We'll see which way that they're going. It looks like they might be getting in the car to go somewhere. Might not have an opportunity. That's all right, we'll give it a shot. If nothing else, we'll just circle back around the neighborhood the other way. So now that, of course, I have an agenda, he doesn't have an agenda. He just wants to smell everything and linger as long as he needs. This is where, once again, people having things to do conflict with what he wants to do on a walk. And I want to get up there to where those people and the pup is. It looks like they are loading up and leaving. Once again. So now, be able to slow down again and let him smell things. Good boy. Just use the leash as a boundary there so he would stop. Just wanted to fix his leash. And if we were doing more formal heel work, we'll go over that on the social session. What you'll want to do is keep the leash nice and loose, but hold it closer, right? So he has less space, as you see here, before he hits that boundary. And even less space is closer here, almost to like a heel. Oh, there's another pup in there. What do you think, big guy? What do you think? Oh, oh. Chip, come. Good boy. And that's what I mean. Especially in the beginning, we want it easy for him to practice in those situations when there's another dog involved, right? Let him get used to what he should be doing when it's easy. And then when it's harder, we'll have the collar to kind of help out as well. But the goal is to get in enough repetitions and practice and build his discipline up and training up enough that we won't even need the collar at all. We see a pup, we ask for his attention, he refocuses, we say good boy, we move off to the side, we have him sit and wait, and then we can talk to the owner of the other dog when they're coming closer to see if they want to meet, if their pup is friendly, see how well he's behaving. If he's doing good, remaining calm, then letting him meet and play with the other dog, and then practicing redirecting like we did with his beagle friend the other day. Having him redirect when he's excited and engaged with another dog is really good practice, and then completely disengaging and continuing our walk. So here, because we don't want him kind of in the yard of people, I'm just gonna keep walking. Boy. Now that he is kind of entering more public space, just giving him some more leash again. And giving him some more time. Good boy. Most of the time he doesn't linger for too long. And then as soon as he stops lingering, that's usually when I start walking again. But the main thing is when he does stop and linger, to pay close attention to what he's smelling, because then he could also start engaging things. So there, he started going too far. The leash did well in correcting itself because I'm just maintaining a consistent pace, right? Good boy, good pee-pee. Right. Lots of dogs in the neighborhood, but they're all indoors or in their yards right now. It's okay, we'll try again later on in the evening. The only bad part is it gets dark out almost at 4, and usually everybody walks their pup a little bit after that, but we'll see what we can do. If not, we might just do more recording of his sit and wait at the door control. All right, so now I want to cross to the left and he wants to go straight. Good boy. Wait. Got a car coming, right? Wait. And I like to reinforce the wait, especially after he gets his treat, because a lot of times pups will think that the task is finished at that point, and I want to let him know that it's not finished until I tell him it is, because another car coming back down this way. Right? Wait. Oh boy, oh my goodness, you almost got ran over. Come on, big guy, good boy, come. You can kind of see, even though I'm telling him to wait, I'm keeping the leash loose, so that way as soon as he does move inappropriately, I can give that gentle tug or that little bit of pressure and reinforce that weight. one thing to kind of give a command and help him out with sitting still, and it's another thing to kind of be forcing him to sit still the whole time. We definitely don't want to do that because then he doesn't learn anything. Yeah. Good boy. All right, we'll see if there are any pups down this way. But this is a good compromise, I find, for most families. Some people just want their pup to focus and heal the entire time on a walk. Um, that's understandable if you're in like a city environment or a social environment. But here, when we're just kind of out in the open, I want him to be able to kind of smell and explore, enjoy his walk, because that helps with his behaviors when he's, back stuck inside with less things to get into. We want him to be as tired as possible, and part of that is just basically letting him smell and get his nose work in while we're out on the walk too. It's not too much exercise for him, but him constantly getting to explore new things, good boy, can be beneficial for him as well. All right. So here we have the pole there. So we're just gonna, oh, okay, there we go. I was gonna say just shorten the lead so that way he can't go the wrong way. But he went the right way anyways. All right, so one more time. We're gonna go ahead and cross here. Come here, bud. Chip. Chip. Wait. Ooh. Wait. Wait. Good boy. Good wait. Yeah. Wait. Good boy. I know. He always wants to get into something. Okay, good boy. Let's go. Good wait. So now when we have started going, I'm gonna keep walking, right? And that's gonna cause that directional pressure to build if he gets stuck on something behind. And now we're gonna stop here so I can fix his leash again. Hey, come here, Chip. Good boy. All right. Now it looks like he's getting into something in the grass, so I'm just gonna keep walking, pull him away from it. We'll be adding in corrections too, if necessary, at the end of his leave it exercises, just to help with faster timings of things, and also giving him a consequence of not leaving something, right? Because all right now that's happening is he really wants something and we're having to kind of pull him away from it, whereas we want him to feel rewarded for leaving something on his own and then punished for not listening to us when we ask him to leave it and he doesn't. But we'll get there. All right. What? Huh? What? Come here. What? What? Is it because the dog is barking at you? Come here. Right? So now it's beeping. Good boy. Yes. Chip. Good boy. Come. Right. Good. So, didn't really get to see very many pups this time. I guess everybody is just hanging out inside all morning here. We got pups only inside and in their backyards. There's another one in the backyard. It's okay. What I'll do is, since there's definitely no more pups on our way back down the street here, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the video short so that way we can get it uploaded for his family a little bit faster. And there's, come, good boy, good job.